Hello. Good afternoon and welcome to this session entitled Feeding the Soul at the Abu Dhabi International Book Fair 2013. And please help me on welcoming our stage our guests, Isabel Abul Hol, Colonel Jamila Azavi, and Chef Zahra Abdallah. Enjoy the...
So, this is a little bit unannounced, but we have all, the three of us, been involved, along with the team from the Emirates Literature Foundation, with an amazing project called From the Inside Out. For the last 4 or 5 years, we've worked with the inmates at Dubai male prison and female prison. And last year, we came up with an idea. We spoke to Colonel Jamila, who's in charge of the female prison in Dubai, and Chef Zahra, about working with the inmates to prepare their favorite recipes. Now, each one of you here will have a favorite recipe, and generally it will be from your mum, your grandma, your aunt, that you associate with home and celebration. So all of the inmates who were part of this project wrote down their favorite recipe, and then Chef Zahra, along with the full support of Colonel Jamila, allowed the inmates to cook these, to taste them, then this was made into a book called Feeding the Soul. And with each recipe, there is a short story about why this inmate chose that recipe. Why was it so important to them? So whilst we feed our body, food also feeds our soul, because it is connected to family, sharing food, all of those things. So I'd like to introduce our wonderful 2 panels. So this is a celebrity chef who came into the prison and worked with the inmates. She overcame, obviously we couldn't have knives. There were lots of difficult things if you're working in that kind of environment. But with Colonel Jamila's help and Dubai Police's help, we overcame every difficulty. And the book was launched at the Emirates Airline Festival of Literature. We went and met with Colonel Jamila and the inmates who were part of this and had a wonderful celebration. And they have got to own a book. Each of them got their book, which I'm sure they will treasure. It's a treasured memory to see their recipe in print. So I'd like to ask Colonel Jamila to say a few words about this initiative. Thank you so much. You just have to, press this bit here. Sorry. Yes.
First of all, I want to thank Mrs. Elizabeth. Really, she was a big help for us. And thank you very much, Ms. Zahra, because also she's the one who can choose, especially women jail in Dubai police, to do her project. Maybe people, they will thought that if you are in jail, that means you are far from everything. No. I believe that the soul of even the detainees, it's attached or it's need to be with the family. She knows how to read what is moving on in the mind of the inmate. So she tried to translate it in the book. How to feel, how you can measure that you love your family or you already have gap to, what I said, that's to contact with them. Maybe I will forget everything, but I cannot forget the taste of the food. Taste of my mother's food, my grandma's food. So that's what she tried to do, but really, that book was very attached to the inmates. It's take them back to their family. Some of them, when they was writing the recipes, they was crying. I mean, it was with the tears. If the person here will reach this point, that means really they miss their family. they miss the taste of the food. Even if you will give them every day Kentucky and hamburger, but still they want the curry of the mother. That's what's happened. We said, thank you very much. At least she tried to take them back home. She tried to let them feel that we are still there. We still have our own feeling that we need our family, we need our country. Even we are here, maybe we are eating every day meat, but we need the vegetable, the vegetarian. We need the bread, the taste of the bread. All that will make you feel home. Thank you very much, Ms. Zahra. Thank you very much, Ms. Elizabeth.
So can I just ask one of the ELF team, can you bring 3 of the books up here so we've got them in our hands? And I can see Dania is going to run and sort us out, as always. Dania, you deserve a gold medal. You really do. Chef Zahra, you have spoken about how moving this whole initiative from the inside out was for you personally. So please share a little bit about that, and also the challenges of cooking without all the utensils and without all the things that you would normally have in a kitchen.
So I'd like to first thank you for this opportunity to be part of this conversation, and I'm very excited to share our experience with the audience. We have a young audience, and I just want to take you on a little journey. I want you to think about that time you enjoyed a special meal with maybe your grandmother, the time that you maybe walked in and saw your mother cooking in the kitchen, and the smell of your favorite recipe, and how it made you feel. Food has a magical power of making you feel good, making you feel special. And with the Inside Out project, my goal was to remind the inmates that they belong to something greater than that moment of time where they are incarcerated or they are behind some steel walls because they have to pass some time. So the journey of food was about a memory of flavors, a memory of aromas, and taking people onto a journey where they could enjoy and relive those moments. So the workshop was about creating my favorite recipes with the hopes of inspiring the inmates of their favorite recipes. It was a challenging project because obviously we couldn't use knives, we couldn't use the usual utensils, we had to be very safe. So we were able to develop recipes that put into consideration all of our limitations so that we can create that full experience without letting anyone feel like they were missing out. So together we made malfouf, which is a stuffed cabbage recipe. So everyone was using their hands to roll. We made an apple cake, so the smell of the cinnamon would turn in the room, and it would maybe remind them of their favorite dessert. The point was to, and I think in the last talk you mentioned it, Colonel Jamila, is to play with our senses and to use all our senses, our eyes, our ears, our hands, our nose, and just use all our senses to remind us of a special experience. And it was a wonderful experience to share 30 recipes from around the world. And what was more impressive was seeing how Colonel Jamila and her team created such a loving environment for everybody, where everyone felt like they felt that they left their home, but they came to a new home. And so that was a very nice gift to be able to observe.
I think, Colonel Jamila, before you became the colonel in charge of the female inmates in the prison, you were in the ambulance service. So you have a long history of caring for people at the end of their lives, maybe in very difficult circumstances. And you've brought that love and that nurturing feeling into the inmates. And I'm so impressed every time I come to the jail at about how the relationship between the officers and the inmates is not, it's one of care, it's one of respect from both sides, and it is a really fascinating thing. But if everyone here shuts their eyes for a moment, shut your eyes. Now, you've gone home and you are smelling onions cooking. Can you smell it? Okay, or someone is sprinkling cinnamon on the apple and it's just coming to the boil and you smell cinnamon. These inmates, if they've been in there for 1 or 2 years, have had no sense of those smells because they don't cook any of their food. All the food is prepared, they are extremely well fed, but it is not them cooking. And so they don't walk into a kitchen as we all do when you go home. What's for dinner tonight, Mum? What's for dinner, Grandma? You know, we know as we walk in the house, we can smell coffee, we can smell bread baking. All of those things they have been deprived of. So the smell when they were making all the recipes with Chef Zahra made them cry. It brought back that sense that Colonel Jamila spoke about, where you do not use that sense of smell. You have lost that connection with the outside world. So this was such a moving thing, and we now understand that in the female and male inmates both have lovely accommodation in the prisons. They are putting in, thanks to the commander and thanks to Colonel Jamila, they're putting in small kitchens for both the male and female inmates where they can maybe cook birthday cakes, they can maybe cook special foods when they have time to do so. And that will give them a sense of home, a sense of connection with the outside world, but also Dubai Police is arranging for trainers from outside to come in and teach the inmates some pastry chef cooking, how to be a barista. So when they leave the care of Colonel Jamila, they go enriched with certificates that are given by an outside body, and that's going to help them in their future lives. They will never forget these moments, in my view. Colonel Jamila.
Yes, just what I want to add. Thank you very much.
It's working.
Thank you very much for that. She reminded me to tell you one thing. The inmates still they are human being. The inmate, they still can feel. They need. So I cannot say that they do something, so I will punish them. No, not I am the one who's punished. The punishment is coming from the judge. So they need to live. They need to treat as a human being. They need to have everything as what we need. So the needs of part of that, the food, because I'm sure that we are cooking, as Ms. Elizabeth said, that we are moving around the kitchen, but in the jail, they doesn't have a kitchen to cook because it come already ready-made from the company. So I believe that they need to smell even the onion. Maybe that's onion, we said, well now, if I will cut the onion, said, it's smelly, but if you miss this smell, also you feel that you miss something, because it's part from our life. It's part from our daily base. So what will happen after this project? Really, even I'm not talking only about women, even the men, because it was mixed between men and the women. The course was divided between both of them. The good thing that now everyone is encouraged that to do their own dish. Even they not allowed to cook, but they are trying to take the simple things from the supermarket and try to make their own food. You will not believe when you will come to where they are living or where they are eating in the kitchen, in the canteen, you will see different, even the noodles, they make it in different way. All of them said, thank you, Ms. Zahra, because really you changed them. Now they've been, they are busy to do something, busy to make themselves busy with something that tomorrow it will be good for them. Now, a lot of companies, they are trying after this book, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Rizab. They are trying to do something also for inmate. The good thing that, as she said, now they will have a certified that they can start their business outside. It will help them. Even they will go to their country, they can start business, even small business. They can do something. They learn a lot. So always what we'll say that they are not far from the world. They are in the middle of the world. We are not allowed even to say that no, they are not. They are not supposed to do this. They are not supposed to learn. They are not. No, they should. The person who should be learned and the person who should have lot of knowledge because he will be far little bit from the world outside. If you will bring for them anything from inside, they will capture it very quick. When they will go outside, they can do it easily and it will be help them in their life. This was our aim and this is aim of Dubai Police that we are already taking care of the person more than the place. So that person, he will make the, what you will call that, tomorrow when he will go out, he will be living with the community. So if they will not be good person and he will go out with the good personality, then useless for the time that you put him in the jail.
Thank you so much, Colonel Jamila. Chef Zahra, what did it feel like when we all were there? We went to meet with all the inmates who'd given us their recipes. Tell us a little bit about the launch in the prison. They have a lovely auditorium there, and Dubai Police had arranged for all the recipes to be cooked, and we all sat together and ate food.
I think for me, this is the book that we prepared, we collaborated together to prepare. And inside, there are 30 recipes with 30 beautiful pictures. And when the inmates got this in their hand, it was an amazing feeling for them to see that they were part of something so amazing. I think it was the first time many of them maybe felt seen. Their stories were heard, they were acknowledged, they were celebrated. And I think there was a little bit of belief that they belonged and they were more worthy than they felt they were maybe before the gift was handed to them. And I think what's important to remember is that, you know, we are more than what sometimes we believe we are in our minds. And if we just can step outside of that box and just consider what we can be, it's amazing. And this was a little gift to them, but I think a greater gift to ourselves, because it was really amazing to see the real application of the magic of food. We take for granted so many little moments. I mean, one of my favorite stories is the story of the inmates from the men's police, the men's prison. He shared a story of makluba. He says one of his favorite vegetables is cauliflower. And he loved walking into the kitchen when his mother would be frying the cauliflower. And the fondest memory he has is of him pinching a piece of the fried cauliflower and his mom slapping. And, you know, it's a sweet, sweet memory. And I think, oh my God, my husband does the same thing, and my son does the same thing. And it's a memory that's relatable to me, but to so many people. And I think that's what it is. This book is about remembering the humanity of the inmates, remembering that they're not just the other, that they are part of a greater community, and we are part of their community. And it's important to remember that we need to just have a bit of humility in everything that we do, and remember that we are not better than somebody, and when you can have that attitude, its impact is amazing in how you live your day-to-day life.
So we just want you all, when you go home tonight, and if one of your family has cooked a meal for you, give them a big hug and say thank you so much for that. What a lovely meal. Because mothers, grandmothers, aunties, fathers, grandfathers, they cook from a place of love. And you will remember those recipes. You will remember your favorite foods. Even when you're as old as I am, I still remember my mother's cooking. So it's really, really important. All the inmates, they've made a mistake. They've taken a wrong turn. They're human beings. They deserve a second chance. And projects like this, thanks to the far-sighted vision of people like Colonel Jamila and Dubai Police, allow these things to go on, where we are allowed in, we're allowed to work with the inmates to bring these projects to fruition. Thank you so much for your time. Colonel Jamila, just a last word from you, and then we will wrap up to let the next bit go on. Colonel Jamila.
I said, love always there. And there is a lot of ways to try to send a message through it. But I think it's the strongest message to go is the food. Not only to the tummy, even to all your sensation. That's why we said it's the very quick and fast message. Because if your mother will cook for you the dish that you like, how you will feel. If you will eat something, even I will cook it for you, but it not will be the same. Because she cook it with more love. That's why it's become more tasty. That's what I want to say. It's the fast message to send to the soul, is the food.
And the last thing, these books are on sale, and the proceeds from this, so the money that is collected from this goes back into the prison project to help with the next initiative. So please spread the word. You can buy these books here, and you can buy them, I think, at any Magrudi's. So support this very worthwhile project. And I want to give you to all stand up and say hooray to Chef Zara and to Colonel Jamila.